right? So we are defining the state of stress at the crack tip in terms of the distance r from the crack tip and any location theta. Now each mode of loading produces singularity at the crack tip. Right? Crack tip is a very high stress point, so we call it a singularity. It is not a regular point because it is the tip of the crack. It is convenient to represent it by the stress intensity factor K. We know that, right? That rather than calling a stress, we say K, the stress intensity factor. And in mode 1, it will be K1 and so on. And there are three types of loading that a crack can experience. Mode 1 loading, the principal load is applied normal to the crack plane, tends to open the crack. Mode 2, in plane shear loading, tends to slide one crack face with respect to the other. Mode 3, out of plane shear. A crack body can be loaded in any one of these modes or a combination of 2 or 3 modes. It is usually given a subscript to denote the mode of loading: K1, K2, K3, right? Stress intensity in mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. And we are just showing you this again, that this is the mode 1 or the opening mode, this is the mode 2 or the sliding shear mode, and this is the mode 3, which is the tearing mode or out of plane mode and so on, right? Fortunately for us, in reality all three happen, but mode 2 and mode 3 are not very common. Mode 1 is the most common one, and all these standard tests and fracture toughness and so on are done in mode 1. So now, with this quick background, the relationship between K, the stress intensity, and the global behavior. You see, K is local, K is at the crack tip, and globally what is happening. So we are taking the same figure as we did earlier, same figure, that this is a large plate and this is sort of a sharp crack 2A. The remote stress is sigma, the thickness of the specimen is B plate. So consider a through crack in an infinite plate subjected to a remote tensile stress. Remote stress sigma is perpendicular to the crack plane, so the loading is pure mode 1. Linear elastic bodies must undergo proportional stressing. Thus the crack tip stresses must be proportional to the remote stress. We know that it is proportional, right? Proportional means it increases. The more the stress is there, the more there will be here. It can be shown, right, that the relation between K1 and the global conditions. Global is this is local. K1 is local and this is the global. So between this and this is K1 is sigma root pi A. Again, we are showing that it can be shown. So we have used this equation so many times earlier, but we have never really derived this equation. And once again, we are not deriving it. We are telling you that based on very basic theory, this is there, right? Of course, here we are not even showing the y for now. For the y is the geometry factor. The amplitude of the crack tip singularity for this configuration is proportional to the remote stress and a square root of the crack size, right? So that y can be another constant, but K1 is directly proportional to sigma and K1 is directly proportional to under root of A, isn't it? So it is proportional to the remote stress and it is proportional to the root of the crack size. So this is it. This is the theory and so on. So this is the relationship of K1, which is the stress intensity under mode 1 loading, to the global conditions of the remote stress sigma and so on. A related solution is that for a semi-infinite plate with an edge crack, right? So this is it. It is just like we had the previous one and we sliced it, sectioned it in the middle, right? There was this sharp crack and we have sliced that plate in two. So now we are left with a semi-infinite because this side is now finite. Earlier, this side was infinite, that side was infinite compared to the crack size. Now the crack size is right here. So this is an edge crack now. It is an edge crack of length A. That was a center crack of length 2A. And on the width side, it is infinite only on one side. On this side, this is all. So this is called a semi-infinite plate with an edge crack. Height is still infinite, right? And the width is now sort of finite. This configuration can be obtained, as I said, by slicing the earlier plate through the middle of the crack. A stress intensity factor for edge crack can be shown, we are not deriving it, can be shown to be given by this, that now the factor is 1.12. If it is an edge crack, the factor is 1.12. The factor is 1.12 root pi a, right? Now, in the previous one, I told you that we can have a factor of y there, Why was y not there in the previous one? That y is a general expression for the type of crack geometry and so on. But if it is an infinite plate with remote stress sigma in mode 1 loading, and you have a central sharp crack, not elliptical, not edge, nothing, central sharp crack, then y is equal to 1. So in the previous one, y was equal to 1. Now it is an edge crack, so y has become 1.12. The rest is exactly the same still. So 12% increase in there because of the boundary condition problem, basically. You see, the previous one was totally infinite plate. On the other side also, the edge of the plate was sort of an infinite distance compared to the crack size. This time, on one side, the edge condition is directly here. So if you move from a infinite plate to a semi-infinite plate, then 12% higher. That was 1, this is 1.1 to 12% higher stress intensity is there because of the finite size. Understand, it is half finite, right? That was totally infinite, this is half infinite. Penny shaped crack, circular crack in an infinite medium, right? This figure. Again, remember, because of our angle, we are not showing it. If we are looking at an oblique angle, the circle is looking like an ellipse, but this is a circle. So a circular crack, a penny shaped crack. So again, a closed form solution is there. We have not derived it. We are not deriving it. 2 upon pi is now the factor. 2 upon pi, right? So pi, you know, is 3.1. So this is roughly 2 by 3, roughly 2 by 3. If it was an infinite plate with a simple sharp crack in the middle, the y was 1. If it was a semi-infinite plate with an edge crack, y was 1.12. If it is back to an infinite plate but with a circular crack, penny shaped crack, then y is 2 upon pi, right, and so on. More general case of an elliptical or semi-elliptical flaw we will show you on the next page, but this is more general case, because if it is an ellipse, we can collapse the ellipse and make it a sharp crack. If it is an ellipse, we can make the two major and minor axes equal and it will become a circle. So ellipse is the most general one, and flat sharp crack or circular penny shaped are special cases of the ellipse. So right, so on the next page we will see next page. So we are showing this general configuration, that the length we are saying major axis is 2c and this is 2a, right? So remember that this is not that a, right? This is different, and it is still infinite plate. So either on the infinite plate you have ellipse or you have half ellipse. You have ellipse or you have half ellipse. So it is still infinite, still the remote stress is sigma. And then this, that if you want to define a stress at any given point, not a stress intensity, then you define something, right? That K1 is defined in terms of all this. Lambda S we will define later, Q we will define later, right? This Q is equal to this much, this lambda S is equal to this much, and this F of phi is this angle, right? If this is the crack, then this is the end of the crack here, and any location you want to find, at any location you measure it with an angle phi here. So there are in this equation, in this expression, lambda S and Q and F of phi. Separately the three are here. We could put all of these inside the equation. This will become a very big complicated equation. So yes, the equation is big and complicated, but just to show it in a simpler form, we show it like this, and then we define Q separately, we define lambda separately, we define F of phi separately, right? So I am just showing you a blown up version so that it is very clear for you that right? The equation is there for K1. The equation for K1 is there. Equation of K1 is this. Root pi a, remember, sigma root pi a is there. Sigma root pi a. This are just the geometry factors. Okay, all of that together will be the geometry factor. Sigma root pi a is already there. So this Q is 1 plus 1.464 a upon c raised to 1.65, where a is the semi minor axis of the ellipse, c is the semi major axis of the ellipse. So this is it. If you have an ellipse, this is very easy, right? Immediately the size of the ellipse is given, you can find this. This lambda s is 1.13 minus 0.09 a upon c, and this whole thing into 1 plus 0.1, 1 minus sine of phi square, right? So again, this a by c part is very simple. This is not an issue. The phi is also not an issue, isn't it? Phi is also not an issue. As soon as the phi is given for any point, you can find it. The f of phi is sine squared phi a by c cos squared phi whole raised to 1 upon 4 power. So you see, all these are nothing. They are very simple, because if the size of the ellipse is known, then a and c are known. If the location of the point is known, then phi is known. So just put the values of a, c and phi, and you have these three things. So all of that will become a number, right? So all of that will become a number. It can become 1, it can become 1.12, it can become 2 upon pi, and so on. So this is the generalized solution. Generalized solution when you have an infinite plate with an embedded crack. Embedded means central crack of an elliptical shape, right? The remote stress is sigma. The size of the ellipse is c and a. The location of the point, right? If for example you want to find at the end of the ellipse the sharpest point, then phi is equal to 0. No issue. Phi is equal to 0. So if that point is there where we say it is generally maximum, then here this sine 0 will go away. Here this term will go away, and so on. This whole thing will not be there actually, and so on. So, right? So this is the generalized form for an elliptical, and this means that the remote stress sigma can be converted into the local stress intensity K1. So the relationship of K to the global conditions. Just for the name, this Q is called the flaw shape parameter, right? Because it depends only on A and C, flaw shape parameter. And lambda s is called the surface correction factor, because it includes the shape also and the location of the point also. So these are the two names. Q is called the flaw shape parameter and lambda s is called the surface correction factor. Okay. So with that, you have done a very high level of fracture mechanics now. The only thing is that we are not doing the derivations part of it. We are trying to explain to you the physics of the problem, the mechanics of the problem. These are the global conditions. This is the local condition. This is mode 1, this is mode 2. And we are considering a general embedded crack of an elliptical one. And if you remember, an ellipse, if you collapse it, if you make the major axis almost insignificant, then it will be a sharp crack of length 2a and something. If you make both a and c equal, then it will become a circle or penny shaped, right? So we have covered all the three. And of course, if you slice the plate in half, then this embedded crack, central crack, will become an edge crack. So therefore you have covered all the possibilities, and you know the most complicated equation. It looks complicated, but when you divide it into Q and lambda s and f of phi, then there are only three things. A and C are the sizes of the ellipse, and phi is the location of the point. You put it there, and in 1 minute you have the actual numbers and so on.